Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Get your coffee, get your sports. We got sports, coffee, and sports in the morning. Wake yourself up for this good old sports talk. This is your host, Coach Dante, along with my co-host, my boy Mo Better. How you doing, Mo?
What's good, Coach? How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. Just for we got some variety of topics to go. We're gonna go over the slated games of what happened last night. We're definitely gonna go over the favorite fouls that they were giving out, including the James Harden. They threw out James Harden last night. Also Malcom Brogdon also wins Sixth Man of the Year. The Cowboys picked up CeeDee Lamb 5th-year option. The Las Vegas A's moving to Vegas, and also we're going to preview the Tank fight as well. But also we're going to, since we have no conference sports in the morning, so we're going to preview the next 2 days of the NBA playoffs going in. So
sounds like a plan, Coach.
We gotta start with the games last night, slated games last night. Those of y'all don't know, I say that I always work. It looked like it was going to work out for me last night. The 40% was going to come in handy last night until the Brooklyn Nets found a way to lose the game without James Harden in the fourth quarter. Again, like I said, they're not good enough. They just come down to the point they're just not. They don't have enough firepower for the 76ers at all. Tyrese Maxey was a little bit too much down the stretch. They did the same game plan I said they were going to do. Double Joel Embiid. It worked. It worked to a certain extent by him being a willing passer, but also, Tyrese Maxey taking over in the fourth quarter. PJ Tucker got all the 50-50 balls, every 50-50 ball last night. PJ Tucker pretty much got, but it all comes down Brooklyn. Just not a good enough squad. Their Sixers are just a better overall team. They're just a better overall team. They just, even with one person out, James Harden or Joel Embiid out, they just probably still better than the Brooklyn Nets was last night. So the 3-point shooting, Brooklyn only shot 33%. The 76ers shot 41% from the field, from the 3-point line. Brooklyn got to the free throw line 22 times. You got the Sixers got to the free throw line only 13 times. The Sixers out-rebounded through the Brooklyn Nets. Out-rebounded the Brooklyn Nets by 12. That's what PJ Tucker probably come in involved in. Both teams didn't have the ball movement that much. Brooklyn had 22 assists, and Sixers had 15 assists. They didn't move the ball around a lot. 15 turnovers for the Philadelphia 76ers. They scored 16 points off Brooklyn turnovers as well. 48 points in the paint by the 76ers. And when you look at the box score for the 76ers, PJ Tucker had 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 points. Tobias Harris, solid game, 15 points. Joel Embiid had 14 points on 5 of 13 shooting, 10 rebounds. Got the big block at the end. At the end on Dinwiddie to pretty much put the game into a 1-score game before that terrible inbound steal right there. Terrible discommunication on the inbound. And Tyrese Maxey had another 5 threes. James Harden, before he went out, had 21 points before he went up out of the game. And Cameron Johnson, 17 points. Mikal Bridges, 26 points, but he shot hard from the field on bad efficiency, 9 of 26. Nick Claxton was really good in the game, outplaying Joel Embiid. Guess what? Until he got the Thompson foul and he kicked them out. and he kicked him out because he got a technical early in the game. I said, who need to be the X factor? Dinwiddie, he was, but it was a loss. It was a loss being the X factor with 20 points. So, Mo, what you took up out of this game?
I think this is one of those series, and I said it on my podcast that where they're paired, the third seed versus the sixth seed, the third seed is beating them the way they should be the sixth seed. This isn't a good series simply because, like you said, no matter what style of play, how the flow or the pace is, the Sixers are just the better team. I thought the Nets did a great job of being just as physical as the Sixers were. They fought. Nicholas Claxton, that guy played. He balled. He played well. You get great competitive energy from Bridges, Cam Johnson. The problem is those are your shot makers, and your shot makers can't shoot the percentages they shot last night. Mikal Bridges, if it takes you 26 shots to get 26 points, that's not good. And what really hurt them was late game decisions. Some of their decision making, it baffled me, and that really hurt them. But in the end, this really just comes down to the Sixers are the better team, and they're going to go ahead and I think this is going to be a sweep. Last night, like you said, was Brooklyn's best chance to get a win, and they let it slip away. I think the Sixers come out in Game 4, put their foot on them, and sweep them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of these opportunities. I mean, when you gotta, when you see something, when you see blood in the water, you just gotta really go after it. You know, you already got momentum on the side. You got James Harden kicked up out of the game, which is I don't think he should have been kicked up out of the game for that one. I think Joel Embiid should have been kicked out than James Harden was.
Agreed.
When you have James Harden not playing, but again, this is what I'm saying. You have Tyrese Maxey. You have another guy that can score. That can count on James Harden 21 and can get you 26 points. That's come down to difference. Tyrese Maxey was the difference in the game last night. He was the main difference of why, Brooklyn couldn't put it together. But again, a lot of Brooklyn execution, it was just mental execution play, just mental plays. I mean, Philadelphia's not playing well all in this series. They're not playing well in the series at all. They're struggling to even score the basketball. Brooklyn, I'm like the way Brooklyn is competing on the defensive side and making the Sixers have to work for everything. But at the end of the day, you don't have a lot of firepower. The offensive execution is not really good. That inbound play, you're supposed to be going for a 3. Why is Mikal Bridges trying to cut in for a 2? I have no idea. That's why the ball was thrown away. But other than that, just bad execution and a lack of inefficiency in the second half. That's what's hurting the Brooklyn Nets. And I mean, it's just a mental thing. Mental mistakes right now is killing the Brooklyn Nets. And that's why, they're down 0-3 in the Sixers. We already pointed out they're not playing great basketball and all. They're not playing well. But again, this is a case when the Sixers they're just that much better than Brooklyn. They can play. They look like they can play in a 7-game series 100 times out of 100, and it looked like just because the veterans and their experience the Sixers got, they will beat them 100 times out of 100, no matter how close the game is. No matter how close the game is, they will always find a way to win that game. When the game was the case last night.
I also think that what hurts the Nets is they don't have an actual point guard. They're doing point guard by committee. So if it's not Dinwiddie, then it's Bridges, or sometimes they're even trying to run the offense through Cam Johnson. Those guys are wings. They're not natural point guards. You actually need somebody that can get people into the right places, set everybody up for success. And when you don't have a floor leader like that, that hurts you, especially in late game decision making. When you don't have a guy that you can rely on to get the offense going, it's a struggle. That's something they could probably address in the offseason because I think next season Brooklyn might end up being a 6th or 5th seed next year, but they'll be a better, more well-rounded team. I think their roster construction will be a lot better.
Key in the building, Jory in the building. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? Doing this morning on this lovely Friday morning. Yeah, man. But like I say, he tried to put in some offense. It still didn't work. He tried to put in Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas had 6 points in 11 minutes. That didn't work. Seth Curry, he didn't even play last night. It was interesting that he didn't get any minutes last night. You could have down show used him last night. You put Joe Harris in the game. He missed every shot that he pretty much threw up. So
that's playoff Joe Harris.
It's playoff Joe Harris. That's what he does in the playoffs.
Playoff Joe Harris.
other than that, man, this is an instant case of the Sixers just being a better squad, just being a better squad than Brooklyn. And I said again, I just think that game right there, Brooklyn needs to win that game just to show that just to pretty much have a chance to extend the series now in Game 4. Like I say, I think hope may be kind of lost for the Brooklyn Nets at this point of time. Do they come out with come out with saying, hey, we're not going home on our home floor and just extend it one more game, or do the Sixers seek blood and just go out and just say, let's finish them off, let's get rest, let's get some rest, and let's get prepared for this Boston series. So other than that, hey man, you just gotta give the Sixers credit. They found a way to win through all the adversity that they went through in this game and through everybody went through. I mean, it was just godly, man.
That was a sloppy, ugly game, Coach.
Yes, it was. It was them. No, James Harden, we're gonna get to that in a minute, but it shouldn't have been not a rejection at all. Joel Embiid should have been rejected after that. That was intentional.
He should have.
Yeah, that was
intentional. I'm going by the Draymond standard. Joel Embiid should have been ejected.
He should have been ejected. And Harden, you should have just let that one go. So again, a lot of people will say Philadelphia lost this game. They would have put it on the referees. I guarantee that would have been a referee decision right there. That would have been the reason why they lost. But again, other than that, they found the only reason it's not talked about. They found the way to win. They found a way to win this game. Build it to Tyrese Maxey. But yeah, Joel Embiid should have got ejected for what he did. He did that on intentional. James Harden, that wasn't intentional what he did. That wasn't intentional what he did. He should have stayed in the game. Actually stayed in the game on that one. So we got the Warriors, responded to us like we said they were gonna do. They responded to us really, really well last night and put a whooping on Sacramento last night. And from the start of the game, Curry came out blazing, on fire from the start of the game. And when they hit their first couple of threes in that game late last night, I said this is going to be a really good shooting game for the Golden State Warriors. I can tell Jordan Poole came out shooting it really well. They had 16 threes last night. I know they shot it 32%, but the Kings only shot theirs 23%. Both teams got to the free throw line 23 times. The Golden State Warriors had 31 assists, was telling you they were moving the ball around a lot. Everybody was touching the ball. I mean, that's just what Golden State do when they run that type of motion offense, when everybody just moving around. That's just what they do. Everybody's going to get a touch. Ain't no stagger pretty much in their offense. We got 15 turnovers by the Kings. The Kings, everybody struggled in this game. De'Aaron Fox struggled to get his shot going in this game. Sabonis struggled to get comfortable pretty much in the paint. Keegan Murray, the rookie, been struggling all series long. He hasn't had a great game yet. Kevin Huerter was okay, but the only thing about that, he was 1 of 6 from the 3-point line. Harrison Barnes was fine. He was all right. But the key was the Warriors' defense. They were more physical on the defensive side of the ball. They were locked in the whole game. And they looked like they had a point to prove in this game that they want to come out and say, no, this is not going to be a rout, man. We're not going to allow this to happen. And they came out blazing. They came out with the energy. The defensive intensity looked really, really good. They played Jonathan Kuminga last night. They played him great last night. Used it well. They tried to put Anthony Lamb in now. I mean, like I say, everybody that got in the game for the Warriors was great. They played well last night, and they definitely responded. Kevon Looney, 20 rebounds last night, definitely dominated the boards. And also, he made plays last night. Got to give him credit. He made 9 assists. He had 9 assists last night. So he made plays. Andrew Wiggins was big. Curry had 36. Klay Thompson had 13. Jordan Poole had 16 on a efficient night. But like I say, man, the defense was absolutely tremendous. And Moses Moody stepping up for Draymond Green with 13 points last night. Mo, what you see up out of this game last night?
Energy. I see energy. We talked about what the Warriors should do or might want to consider doing going into Game 3, and the biggest thing was get some of those young legs in there. Get Moody in there. Get Kuminga in there, and it had an impact on the game. They didn't put up massive numbers, but you saw the energy, competing, getting deflections, loose ball. Kuminga finishing at the rim. Moses Moody hitting the big 3. I thought energy was a big thing for Golden State. And their defense was much better. They played well. Kevon Looney was the key. We were thinking that he might play spot minutes because he was the guy that was kind of getting eaten alive with that drop coverage. But he played so well. And hats off to Steve Kerr. He knows his guys. He knows who's pride, who's proven. Kevon Looney gets you 20 rebounds, 9 assists, and maybe not big scoring numbers. That's not his thing. But in my mind, from what I saw, he outplayed Sabonis. He outplayed him. All those second chance opportunities that led to shots with him assisting on, those were so big. Not to mention what he does as far as the screening, freeing guys up. I thought Kevon Looney, along with Steph Curry and Wiggins, were like the best players on the floor for the Warriors. But really, again, energy. They got athletes in the game last night. Moody's an athlete. Kuminga's an athlete. Wiggins is an athlete. DiVincenzo is an athlete. They got those guys with those twitchy instincts, quick reactions, lateral quickness, leaping ability. They were active. To be fair, though, as good as they played defensively, Sacramento missed a lot of open shots.
They missed a lot of open shots. Yep.
I don't know if you can shoot worse from 3-point than what the Kings did last night. It was horrendous. They literally shot themselves out of the game. And I'm not taking nothing away from the Warriors, but if you're Mike Brown, a couple things you don't change. You don't change the way you're guarding Klay Thompson. When they put somebody on Klay Thompson, that person basically is in an isolation mode, completely saying, I don't know what's going on to the right of the court, but I'm not leaving him. Klay got a couple threes late in the game, but throughout the game, he's on lock. They're not letting Klay get freed up. They know how to play Klay. And I thought Davion Mitchell played Steph well. Steph was just up for the challenge. Steph attacked the basket a lot more. So that's credit to a great player, great defense still, but a greater offensive player. We all picked the Warriors to win game 3. I'm going to be excited for game 4. Every game gets a little bit bigger. I believe the winner of game 4 is going to win the series.
Yep, I believe the win. That's how it's going to go down. That's the way the momentum seeking in this game, right? Seeking in this series, the winner of game 4 could easily win the series. But like you said, hey, they were missing a busload of wide open shots, especially De'Aaron Fox. He had a lot of wide open opportunities, couldn't make them. Davion Mitchell had some open opportunities, didn't make them.
Coach, this is the first game where Malik Monk was a non-factor. He did nothing. You could argue he was the second best player in this series up until game 3, and he was a non-factor in game 3.
He was a non-factor in game 3. He was. Pretty much, like I say, it was basically a shooting struggle last night for the Sacramento Kings. They had some opportunities. They just didn't knock them down. But like I said, I think those same opportunities that they got in game 3, if they get in game 4, they'll make the most of those opportunities. So
I think that's going to be a close game.
Yep, I don't think nothing is actually wrong with the offense. I think they got the opportunities they just didn't capitalize on it. Just one of those games where that lid was up on the basket. The basket moved on them a little bit. It's just one of those games that Golden State did everything right. They executed pretty well, and they deserved to win the game last night. So other than that, game 4 is going to be real interesting. The winner of game 4 could definitely set the tone to see who's going to win this series. But we know who got the momentum in their series right now. And we can argue, say Kawhi Leonard was a difference because he, at the last minute, he got hurt. He was hurt with a sprained knee. We don't know how that feels on it. But you can argue Kawhi Leonard is a difference maker in the Suns series, which is the Suns did win the game by 5 points last night, 129-124. And the Clippers still was able to score 124 points. It took a 45-point performance by Devin Booker last night. Torrey Craig giving you 15, still giving you that efficient shooting. That's 3 straight games now. He's been able to shoot the ball consistently. DeAndre Ayton, 12 and 11. Chris Paul, 5 of 18 from the field, 1 of 8 from the 3. 11 points. Devin Booker with a 45-point night. Again, the bench wasn't really that good, but Damian Lee was actually good. He actually got some minutes. 8 points in this game. Kevin Durant with 28 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. You have Nick Batum giving you 19 minutes, no points in this game. You have Marcus Morris playing 20 minutes, giving you 5 points. Bones Highland, how about Bones Highland? 20 points. Terrence Mann with 10 points in this game. Russell Westbrook to second straight game, 30 points in this game. Norman Powell, 42-point night for Norman Powell last night. Mo, what you think about this game last night, man?
So let me start with the Kawhi situation. I think we talked about this even before the playoffs started. I keep trying to tell people the thing with Kawhi Leonard is let's not get caught up in load management. He's being done that way because what's going on with his body, with his knees, that's chronic. Yeah. That's not going away. That's chronic. And so the Clippers are trying to not just help him, but themselves to get the max amount out of him. They're trying to extend his career.
Yep.
I saw the moment when I thought he got hurt in the third quarter in game 2. You could tell by the way he was walking. I thought he was going to come out the game. The fact that he played, I guess maybe because he had the adrenaline going and he thought he could play through it. And look, it was a close game. So I think the Clippers banked on maybe Kawhi could pull us through. We could win game 2 and not play him game 3, right?
Yep.
It didn't pay off. They ended up losing, but he didn't play game 3. I think he'll play game 4, but he's one of those guys that look, throughout the history of the league, there's been great players who've had, I guess you would call them janky knees, whatever you want to call it, that they're just chronically in pain. And it doesn't help the fact that in the first 2 games of the series, the man played over 40 minutes. You don't really want Kawhi Leonard playing 40 plus minutes, but without Paul George, you have little choice. I will say if there's a silver lining for the Clippers, Norman Powell, who hasn't really shot the ball well since the All-Star break, he exploded. Maybe this game unlocks him going forward in the series. If they could get Norman Powell to give you 25 or 28, that could be the second guy along with Kawhi Leonard, and then Russ can do the things that Russ do. I don't think this series is over yet because it's playing out pretty much how you and I and Des talked about, Coach. It's their top-heavy 5 versus the Clippers' depth. The Clippers bench still scored over 30 points. The problem was in your starting 5, you had 3 guys that combined for 9 points. That's not good enough. Nicholas Batum played 19 minutes, scored 0 points. Like I said, Robert Covington played 3 minutes and scored 0 points. Like maybe give Covington those 19 minutes. And I know we say Nicholas Batum is playing because of the kind of defender he is. I've watched the first game of the first 3 games of this series. He can't stop a nosebleed. He's not guarding anybody. So try something else out. I know Terrence Mann is a couple of inches shorter, but he's a better player. He's a better competitor. He's got younger legs. Nicholas Batum should be coming off the bench because he's not giving you nothing in the starting lineup. You have no floor balance because the man can't make an open shot. So try something. Ty Lue's a smart guy. I think he will try to shake it up a little bit. You could tell by the way they played, they staggered Big Z's minutes because he struggles in the pick and roll because he can't play in space. It didn't help them. What I didn't understand, I don't know if you saw the game, Coach. I watched a lot of the game. They were doubling off Durant again and leaving Booker to play one-on-one. And my strategy would be the opposite. I would double Booker, let Durant play one-on-one. I know Durant's the greater player, but it's not in Durant's nature, Coach, and you know this. It's not in his nature to take 28 or 30 shots. He's not going to do it. He's going to slide the ball and move ball around to Torrey Craig or Chris Paul or somebody else. I'm not letting Booker get off the way he got off the last couple of games. I'm going to play Durant man up and double Devin Booker because Devin Booker is killing the Clippers playing one-on-one.
He's chewing them alive playing the one-on-one, and the difference in this game, the Clippers also had 18 turnovers in the game, so they were really that was really throwing against a top-heavy starting 5 like that. That is really hard to come back from when you have these 18 turnovers.
Russ balled out though, Coach.
Russ balled out. Russ, hey, that's the second straight game.
He had 6 turnovers, but 3 of those came late when they were trying to catch up. Russell Westbrook balled. He
balled out.
For all those people that are down on Russ, he balled.
He balled out. He's showing up. At least he's showing up in this series. I mean, again, 26 assists from the Clippers. They passed up. They moved the ball well enough. But other than that, you know, the Suns did out-rebound the Clippers 45-40. And they also had 15 offensive rebounds, which mean, you know, they had a lot of second chance opportunities as well. So, again, the turnovers and the second chance opportunities got the Clippers over that hump. So they now will be up 2-1 in this series. We will discuss that game coming on later in the show. So the next topic, how about these flagrant fouls that we were just been talking about? Again, we had Joel Embiid, literally down and kick Claxton in the groin. That was an intentional kick right there. He should have been thrown up out of the game for that one. And James Harden actually accidentally, hit Russ O'Neal in the groin. What you think about those two? James Harden getting thrown out, and Joel Embiid should have been a flagrant foul too, and not being thrown out.
Agreed. First of all, I don't understand what the referees are looking at, because they seem to be inconsistent the way they're calling these flagrants. What James Harden did was reactionary, and you could tell it was incidental. He wasn't directly trying to do what they thought he was trying to do. I don't understand that. And even when they looked at it on review, they should have known, like, okay, this is a no call and move on, or maybe give him a common foul or something like that. Yep. What Joel Embiid did, it was so reactionary. You knew exactly what he was trying to do in the moment. There was no hesitation. You knew exactly what he was trying to do. And let's be clear, Claxton knew what he was doing by stepping over him. When you step over somebody like that in any sport, it's a sign of disrespect. Joel Embiid wasn't going to be one up, so he reacted. How he didn't get thrown out is kind of amazing, because it's like a double standard. If it's Draymond or somebody that's a lesser star, they're gone. Somehow Joel Embiid didn't get thrown out.
Yeah, Draymond probably been thrown out, probably been suspended for doing something like that. Yeah. So again, Joel Embiid. I mean, I know Nick Claxton, stepped over him, and that is disrespectful. But at least you don't kick a damn man in the groin. You can at least get your hand and get him up off you or something like that. But again, Joel Embiid really, had no reputation of doing anything like that. But again, that's more of a toss out than James Harden was. So I thought James Harden, rejection was kind of bogus a little bit. And Nick Claxton got also ejected from a taunting.
I didn't like that.
I don't like that either. You got to let the guys play. You got to let the guys play through that.
Refs, if you're not going to throw Embiid out for what he did, come on, man. I know taunting is a thing, but if he's not thrown out doing this and jawing, you can't throw him out for that. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you just throwing him out for just looking at the guy. He didn't say anything to him.
Right.
He just looked at him and just let him know, hey, I'm here. Right. And he's playing well into that point. The crowd is involved. He's outplaying Joel Embiid, and you kick him out over a taunting penalty. Them guys been going back and forth at it the whole series. Drawing back and forth at it the whole series. Come on, man. Don't let the guys play at times. Let the guys play. Let them guys play at times. And James Harden, that should have been a toss.
That was terrible too.
That was totally an accidental play. He didn't try to even do that. But again, hey, referees, man, they're softening up the game. They make you want to hate this game. They make you want to hate watching this game again. So that's why when it comes down to it, when the game is close, you don't want it to leave it down to the referees. If you know you're the better team, you don't want to have to get in that situation to leave it down to the referees for them to dictate how the ball game is going to be called and how the ball game is going to go. So otherwise, Sixers dodged a bullet up on that one. They still got the win, and James Harden will take that win 1,000 times out of 1,000 if it meant for them to go up 0-3. So other than that. Sixth man of the year, Malcom Brogdon. We got Malcom Brogdon was named sixth man of the year. He's a big part of that Boston team. He got traded to Boston in the Indiana deal for Aaron Neesmith. Them. So what you think about that? Right move, right call by
I think it's a well-deserved honor. You're talking about the second best team in the East by record, and the team that most people would say is probably favored to come out of the East. And Brogdon is a big part of that, not just as a scorer or distributor, but as a defender. He's versatile. People forget Brogdon's big enough that he plays the point, he can play the 2, and sometimes he can play the 3. So he's made a versatile team that much more versatile, and he's much deserving of the award. I think he averaged, Coach, around 15, 16 points a game. I mean,
15 points per game.
Yeah, just deserving of it completely. You could have said for a minute Emmanuel Quickly could have been considered. We talked about Norman Powell, but I think in the end, if you look at how the Celtics played and how Brogdon played throughout the season, it was his award to lose, and he earned it.
He definitely earned it. But one of the keys that the Boston Celtics needed, it was clear that they needed after the offseason last year, they needed a point guard. And Malcom Brogdon, they got the point guard. Malcom Brogdon can do anything you ask on the court. I mean, he can shoot, rebound, pass, play some great defense, physicality, go to the rim. And Malcom Brogdon definitely deserves this Sixth Man of the Year award. So congratulations to Malcom Brogdon. He's a key help, key contributing to this Boston Celtics team. If anybody goes out or gets injured on that point guard situation, if Marcus Smart somehow gets injured, you got somebody that can step in right away and contribute on the offensive side of the ball. But again, Malcom Brogdon definitely deserves his Sixth Man of the Year award. So congratulations to how Malcom Brogdon played this season, how he's playing in the series as well. They don't look like he need to break a sweat in this series pretty much. But other than that, we got the Dallas Cowboys picking up CeeDee Lamb 5th-year option. He's been a force to be reckoned with ever since he became a Dallas Cowboy. Had a great season last year. Great playoff game against the 49ers. Mo, what you think about this move?
It's a smart move by the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb seems like somebody who's right on the edge of becoming a top 5 wide receiver. Great after the catch. He's physical enough to go over the middle. He attacks the football when it's in the air. Solid route runner. If there's anything he needs to work on more, maybe it's his route running. But you can see him progress since he came into the league. It's a great move by the Cowboys because he's a great playmaker. What I'd like to see them do is find another guy opposite of him who's maybe not his equal, but close enough, somebody that could push him. Because I think CeeDee Lamb is that close to becoming a legit superstar wide receiver in the league. The guy's talented. He can just make plays one-on-one, and I'll say it again. I like his physicality.
I do too. I like the way it was questions about soon as Amari Cooper got traded. That they want to know how he will perform. As a number one receiver, and he responded really well as a number one wide receiver. He responded pretty well as a number one wide receiver, so he deserves to get paid. He deserves to get his money. And I'm really happy for CeeDee Lamb, man. The man showed that, hey, I can handle this number one wide receiver. They popped it on. I know the running game is going to be diminished for a little while unless they address that in the draft a little bit. I feel like they have to address that in the draft because, again, Tony Pollard is going to be out. You did release Zeke Elliott. You got the one running back in the room that I probably know is Malik Davis from Florida. They got to get that running back room addressed. But CeeDee Lamb is on a whole different level. So you got a team that's moving to Vegas pretty soon. The Oakland Athletics, man. How do you feel about them moving to Vegas?
I just feel like if you're in the Bay Area, the Warriors have moved, the Raiders have moved, and now the Athletics are going to join the Raiders in Vegas. So that's a great fan base. And I know a lot of them still have decided to make the trip over and still support the Warriors, but they deserve to have a team of their own in one of the major sports.
Definitely. I don't know if we ever talked about this topic right here, and it's a huge one, man. You got your boy Cliff Kingsbury, offensive coordinator from SC, going to SC to help out the quarterbacks. How do you feel about that, man? Since you're an SC guy, Cliff Kingsbury coming over to being a quarterbacks coach and helping out Caleb Williams.
I mean, it's great for them, but it's a loss for SC.
Okay.
I mean, he's I wouldn't say guru, but man, he knows the quarterback position in and out. He's got great relations with all the guys coming in. Cliff Kingsbury is one of those guys on the rise that I think throughout his career, he's going to be on demand. He's younger now, but I think he's on track to become like the next Andy Reid, that kind of guy. You know what I mean? Not just a quarterback's coach, but eventually a master play caller. So it's an L for SC, but it's a big come up for the Raiders.
Yep. I like that. So again, we already know we got the biggest of the fight coming up this weekend. I want to watch it so goddamn bad too. I do want to watch it so damn bad too. So But we do got NBA playoffs on the way. We got Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. Davis in the fight. Who, if you had to guess who will win, who you got in this fight? Which we have in this fight?
So who I'm rooting for is I'm rooting for Tank Davis. I'm a big Tank Davis fan. Actually, I'm a fan of both fighters, but if you ask me who I'm rooting for Tank Davis. But I think this is a tough fight for him.
Yeah.
Garcia is a problem. I think Tank Davis, if he can outbox him, if he can stay away, he'll be fine. But if they get into like back and forth or tough exchanges, that doesn't favor Tank Davis. Ryan Garcia is a problem, period. He's a problem. So I'm rooting for Davis. But if you ask me as a betting man who I think's going to win, I think Garcia is going to win.
I think Garcia has a puncher's chance to win this fight. That's if he don't take that one punch. If he don't take a big punch from Tank Davis. That's if he can stay away from a big punch from Tank Davis. I believe Ryan, if the fight goes to a decision and if it extends to a decision, I believe that's when Ryan Garcia comes into play. Because Gervonta Tank Davis did show some vulnerability of getting hit with a lot. The Leo Santa Cruz fight, he got hit with a lot. But one thing that bailed him out, that one punch when he knocked him straight out cold and he didn't know where he was. He didn't actually know where he was. So I thought Leo Santa Cruz was actually winning the fight up until the end. Garcia kind of boxed Tank Davis well, so he took control of the fight and hit him with that one punch, and he couldn't get off the stool because he blanked out and he couldn't see. Now, that's the only thing I feel like that Ryan Garcia can survive in. If he can make the fight go into the scorecards and stay away from the one punch and not get knocked out, I think that's where Ryan Garcia got an opportunity to get Gervonta Tank Davis. You got to make him go deep in the rounds. You got to make him go deep.
That's the scary part about that fight, though, right?
Yep.
Garcia can do everything right, and if he gets caught once, just like that, it's over. Like that's amazing that you can do everything right, and get caught and it's over.
Yep. Rolly Romero, same thing. I thought he was winning the fight. He took the one punch, and he couldn't get up. He didn't get up from it. So that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's like actually all about. You got to make these boxers punch those hard-hitting punches that like to knock everybody out. You got to make them, guys like that, you got to make them go deep into rounds. They're not used to going deep. They're not used to going deep in the rounds or nothing like that. But Tank Davis did go deep a couple of times against Isaiah Pitbull Cruz. He did go deep. I got to give it to him in that. Found a way to win that fight. A lot of people questioned that fight and said he lost the fight, which is he did dominate earlier in the fight. He did dominate early in the fight. The fight was already over by the time Isaiah Cruz started picking it up. But other than that, this is a big mega fight going on. Then you got Devin Haney and Lomo is going to go at it sooner or later. That's been built up to be a nice fight as well. So man, we got some great fights coming up at this way.
There's only one fight I really want to see, but I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon.
Jamal, you talking about the Crawford fight?
That's it.
That's it.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
So if the fight does happen, who are you picking in the fight? If the fight does happen, if the fight somehow, who would you take in the fight?
Man, I like both fighters, man. I mean, I've been following Bud like from the beginning. I to me in the matchup, Bud's going to concede speed. He's going to concede speed, but I think Bud is a worker. I mean, he's that kind of guy that throws 80, 90 punches around. Like he just works you. Just because I want it so, I'm just going to will it. I'm going to go for Bud. I'm going to say Bud wins.
That's fine. I like that. It's a 50-50 fight. It's a tough call, but like I say, if that fight was to happen, I would have to take Errol Spence on that fight.
I respect that.
Yo, because Errol Spence, I mean, I know Bud ain't never seen nobody like Errol Spence.
That jab is deadly.
That jab is definitely dude, and this dude just beats everybody up. I mean, he just beats everybody into a living pulp. I mean, you talking about how he beat up Udane Zugis and almost ended his career and just down and killed him after he knocked his mouthpiece out of his mouth. You saw a whole goddamn different Errol Spence after that punch happened right there.
Coach,
go ahead.
That fight right there could be Hearns Hagler Part 2. No, really, it could be like that. Like those two getting together, that might not go long. That might not go long. It could really be that kind of fight.
Yep. Somebody. So you said somebody's gonna get knocked out.
Somebody's laying down, right? Somebody's getting knocked out.
I like that. Like that up out of that. I like that up out of that. And like I say, man, we got Max Scherzer got suspended for 10 games. I know how it's gonna affect the Nets. The New York Mets is gonna affect them really bad. They don't have Justin Verlander. They don't have now that it won't have Max Scherzer for 10 games. They won't have him at all for 10 games. So the pitching staff is going to kind of take a nosedive on that one. It's going to take a big nosedive on that one. And we got an update. We got an update right here. The Toronto Raptors have fired Coach Nick Nurse. Coach Nick Nurse. What you go ahead, Mo, give me your thoughts.
No, I think it's kind of interesting because it seemed like just a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, Nick Nurse said he was done. Like he said, no matter what happens, I'm done. So I just think it's interesting that they turn around and they make it official and they say, no, we're firing you. So this is one of those good old fashions. No, you can't quit because we're going to fire you.
Yep. We've been said it. Right. I think that was his last game coaching. That was
and that's fine. It's one of those things. It's probably time for both sides to part ways. Nick Nurse is a good coach. I don't think he'll have a hard time getting another job.
Houston Rockets. There you go. You got it. He's fired. Now he said he's projected with the Rockets anyway. He's projected. A lot of Rockets fans want him. He's projected to be going to the Rockets anyway. From the rumors that I did hear, for what
that'd be a great pickup for Houston.
Yep, he's projected. You know, he's projected to go get an interview for the Houston Rockets anyway. It was rumors that he's going to leave Toronto anyway and try to go over to the Houston Rockets. But the Rockets do got some hell of a coaching guys that they're interviewing at this moment. Frank Vogel. Plus, Nick Nurse is going to be in a championship winning coach. Ime Udoka. We just interviewed Sam Cassell. I told you, Key. Not saying we're going to hire Sam Cassell, but I did call out Sam Cassell as a head. I did call out Sam Cassell, and it'll be nice for him to return into Houston, but I don't think the Rockets going to pick him. I think he's going to be out of Nick Nurse or Ime Udoka or Frank Vogel, which is out.
If they don't pick Sam Cassell, coach, I think it would be great if whoever wins the job, though, puts Sam Cassell on their staff. Because of his connect. I mean, he's a good coach, but also because of his connection to that community, to that franchise.
Yep. And again, what you call whoever becomes the head coach, I do want them to keep John Lucas a part of the staff. John Lucas is a hell of a man. And everybody does respect him in that Rockets organization. So I really do hope they decide to keep John Lucas on the coaching staff as well. But other than that,
so many guys out.
Hell yeah. Anyway it goes, you getting whatever the hell better than Coach Stephen Silas was. You get way better. Well, 10 times, 100 times better than what he is. So other than that, we're gonna preview these weekend slate of games. We including tonight. The Saturdays and Sunday games, since we won't be available on these weekends. So we're gonna go ahead and preview. We got the first game of the day, 6:00 game. We got the Celtics travel to Atlanta, the Atlanta Hawks. Right now, their probability of winning is 24 probability, and you got 75 probability for the Boston Celtics. Of course, I'm going Boston on this game. And of course, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, the results of pretty much the last game of what happened for the results, what happened 119 to 106 victory for the Boston Celtics. Those who don't know, Boston came out a little flat, came out a little slow. They picked it up at the end of the first quarter on that 3-pointer by Malcom Brogdon that he hit from half court. And after that, it just seemed like a rout ever since then. Pretty much after that point, Boston shot it well from the field, shot it well from the 3-point line. They shot it well from the free throw line as well. The defense just seemed to clamp down right after that end of that first quarter. But again, Mo, is there any chance that the Atlanta Hawks could win a game in these next two games? And what do they have to do to win game 3 or game 4?
Chance, yeah, slim and none. Those are the chances, and Slim's out of town. So
yeah.
the way I see it is the Celtics have an answer for everything that the Hawks do well,
Yep.
and they expose all the things they don't do well. It's a number 2 seed smacking around a number 7 seed as they should, and the Sixers are up 3-0. You can bet that the Celtics are going to match the Sixers, and they're going to go up 3-0 because they're not going to want the Sixers to have any kind of edge in terms of rest when they meet in the second round.
Yep. Like I say again, I'm gonna say it again. But if it somehow happened, I know they ain't gonna win the goddamn series. But other than that, in the snooze ball in hell, that the goddamn Hawks are winning this series or coming up out of here in this series alive at some type of point. And no matter how they play, how good they are, Boston is that much better. They're better coaching wise. They're better player wise. They better all over. They better the water boy wise. They better in the front office. They better in the cheerleading department wise. They better in every aspect of the organization that the Atlanta Hawks is. So that's what it all comes down to. It. Boston Celtics are winning this game tonight. They're going up 0-3 tonight. So other than that, we got a very great ball game as well. Also, one of the great ball games and one of the great series that we are having, even though that it ended up in a blowout. The last game ended up in a blowout. We got the Cavaliers versus the New York Knicks tonight. Cavaliers will go to the Mecca and end up playing the New York Knicks tonight. The results of that game, you already know. If you know me, that was a mercy rule. They ended up by winning by 17 points. The game was a lot worse than what it was. Not only 90 points for the New York Knicks. Cleveland did the same thing that the Knicks did to them in game 1, out-rebounded them, outplayed them, got a lot more physical than they did. The key, me and Mo called out, Darius Garland was on fire throughout the whole game in that game. He came out, made a statement. Donovan Mitchell had to sit back. It just did nothing but sit back on the couch and drink Kool-Aid and ate popcorn. That's all he did because Darius Garland took over. Caris LeVert, 24 points in the game. He took over as well. So it was basically Darius Garland and Caris LeVert show all game long, while the New York Knicks had no answer for it. RJ Barrett has to play better basketball if the New York Knicks is going to win this series. You just got a big fat old contract this offseason. You need to go out there and play better basketball. He needs to go out there and play better basketball. You got to live up to that contract. This is the moment you're supposed to step up and play basketball, and this is the moment you got to live up to that contract. So right now, feel like RJ Barrett is kind of stealing from the organization a little bit. But Mo, what do you want to see going on? What do you want to see for both teams in game 3?
If I'm the Cavaliers, more the same. I want Donovan Mitchell to make an effort to get Garland, to get LeVert and other guys involved in the offense early, because Donovan Mitchell can get his whenever he wants to. He can get his whenever he wants. Even on a bad shooting night, he can get his because he can get to the free throw line 10 or 12 times a game. So get guys early, get guys involved early, and attack when you need to. If this happens, if Donovan Mitchell can control the pace and take a step back and pick his moments, the Knicks are in trouble. They not only will they not win game 3, they won't win this series. I would say if I were the Knicks, I'd make a more concerted effort to attack Donovan Mitchell on the other end of the floor, make him play defense, try to take something away from his legs. I would trap Garland. I would live with Jared Allen beating me. And I like Jared Allen. Evan Mobley's a talented young guy. Their bigs are long and rangy. Evan Mobley's still developing, but his offensive game isn't that polished. I would live with those guys. If they're shooting 10 to 12-foot jumpers or hook shots or whatever, I'll live with that. But I'm not going to let Donovan Mitchell play one-on-one. I'm definitely not going to let Darius Garland beat me playing one-on-one. You've got to blitz Darius Garland. He's a smaller guard, talented, but smaller guard. Put a body on him, be physical on him. Like, do what PJ Tucker has done in the Philly series. People look at a lot of defenders and look at what they do once their guy catches the ball. PJ Tucker, what he does better than most guys, he puts in a lot of work before you ever touch the ball. bumping you off your spots, sending you the opposite way, derailing guys. Like, that's how you play defense. Make a guy fight to get the basketball. Make Darius Garland work to get free. That's how the Knicks have to play him. If you're the Knicks offensively, Julius Randle has to do something other than take jump shots. You're 6'9", 260 pounds. Attack the basket, man. Get to the foul line. Same with R.J. Barrett. You've played 2 games and you've made 4 shots. Either Tom Thibodeau needs to make a lineup change, or R.J. Barrett's got to be a better version of himself. Everything right now offensively with the Knicks is put on Jalen Brunson's shoulders, and I think that's just asking too much in a playoff series of this magnitude. So they need more from out of the 2 of their top 3 guys. They haven't showed up yet for the series consistently, and I'm kind of disappointed in Tom Thibodeau because I don't understand his rotations. It seems like he knows he should play younger guys, but he's reluctant to do it. That's going to cost his team this series. Trust that Quentin Grimes can play. I know matter of fact, I trust Quentin Grimes more than I trust R.J. Barrett.
Well, as of right now, you would do that. As of right now, like I say, one of the reasons why Donovan Mitchell is not in New York, because again, they didn't want to give up. They didn't want to give up R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett was one of the guys that's supposed to be in the deal. And I understand if you didn't want to give up Quentin Grimes. I understand if you didn't want to give up Quentin Grimes. I understand if you didn't want to do that. But if you want a great player, you're going to have to give up something great. You're going to have to give up something with it if you think it's great. But I understand you didn't want to give up Quentin Grimes. I definitely understand that. He's been valuable.
I didn't understand that. I would have gave up Barrett the night they proposed the trade.
Yep. That's
Barrett is a good player, but his ceiling is not great. His ceiling is he'll probably be a good player at best throughout his career. He's not going to be a perennial all-star. He's not going to be a superstar. I would have already made that trade. That would have been a simple thing. I don't know how you even make that a sticking point. Like, you want a guy who's a borderline superstar in Donovan Mitchell. Your stopping point is R.J. Barrett. To me, that's such a Knick thing to do. That's so Knicks. we can have Donovan Mitchell, but man, we can't let go of R.J. Barrett. That's so Knicks.
Yep, you ain't lying. You ain't lying about that. So we'll see if it's going to continue to hurt them in the series, which is may will continue to hurt them. But we got this game. Coming up. Late tonight. The 8:30 game, which is the Denver Nuggets going into Minneapolis. Minnesota will try to get a win, take their home court. 72 probability, and it is 27% probability for Minnesota to win this game, win this game tonight. Well, one of the problems is for tonight for Minnesota. When is Mr. No-Show going to finally show up to work? When is he ever going to finally show up to work? When he's going to show up in the front office? When he's going to get up out of bed? If he's going to get up out of bed, obviously, we don't know. It can be any point of the game, but you don't want it to be too late. Anthony Edwards had a big game last game, but it just seemed like, hey, Rudy Gobert takes us off all the floor spacing. The drop coverage is killing Minnesota at this point of time. Jamal Murray is getting anything you want. The Denver Nuggets as a whole are getting any shot they want on the floor. The Minnesota Timberwolves are playing zero defense in this game. In this series, they're not that deep either. They got some key injuries in this series. But other than that, Mr. No-Show has to show up in each game. And Mr. No-Show has to show up, period. Mr. No-Show has to show up and give Anthony Edwards some help. Anthony Edwards is not going to make 5 shots every game in the series. He's not going to make 5 3-pointers every game in the series. So at some point, when do Mr. No-Show show up? I don't know. But Mo, what you think about this series and what you think will go on tonight in this game?
What I expect is for the Nuggets to go up 3-0. That's what I expect. With Karl-Anthony Towns, I have no idea what to expect. He might give you single digits. He might give you a 30-point masterpiece. He might give you 30 and 15 with 5 assists. All things are possible with Karl-Anthony Towns. That's the problem. All things are possible, good and the bad. I think Anthony Edwards, I expect him to play a big game. Whether they win or lose, I think Anthony Edwards is going to play big tonight. Gobert will probably be solid tonight as well, but I don't think it'll be enough. When you look at Denver, if Jamal Murray is going to play at that superstar level, if he's going to play that level to go with what Jokic already gives you, and they have the complementary pieces, KCP, Brown, Porter Jr. made some big shots in game 2.
Yep.
This team is well-rounded, but when Jamal Murray plays like a superstar, they become a legit number 1 contender. So if the last game unlocked him and we see that he's all the way back from that injury, this series is over. It's over. It's not even no more. If Jamal Murray is going to be that Jamal Murray, it's over.
Yep. You ain't lying about that. Now I don't for right now, Minnesota, I don't got them winning the damn game in this series. They may get swept because they ain't come close to winning the game. They would have. The one game they came close was game 2. They had an opportunity, but they fought so hard to get the lead in the third quarter. They kind of ran out of energy on that. And Mr. No Show has been on and off the bench throughout the whole game in game 2. And again, hey, the man just need to show up to the front office. He just need to show up to the front office. He just need to show up to the front office. But other than that,
you can say, I'm sorry, Coach. You can say Karl Anthony Towns is stealing money.
He's stealing money. Yep. You can say he's stealing. You can say
with the effort he's giving, he's stealing money.
Yep. You can say that's another person that's stealing money, like RJ Barrett. So I think, let me find out, man. RJ Barrett and him may be having something in the works right now. You
might want to look in the playoffs and get yourself together a crew that we're going to call the guys that are stealing. You might be able to put together a team of guys stealing money.
Yep. Yeah. Because RJ Barrett and him definitely are doing that. So we got the Saturday's game. So again, we got the 12 o'clock game, which is the 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. The Sixers went up 3-0 last night. Will the series end at 12? Will the series end on Saturday?
Yes, it will. I think Doc will have his guys ready. I think he knows how the rest will benefit his older guys, Embiid, Harden, PJ Tucker. It's going to benefit them. So absolutely. I think they're going to come out aggressive and try to give a knockout punch early. I think this series ends that day.
Got you. So Mo got the 76ers winning that game, ending the series. So got the Clippers at 2:30, and you have the Phoenix Suns. Mo, will the Suns take a commanding 3-1 lead, or will the Clippers find a way to tie the series to extend the series enough longer to Paul George? It's rumored that he could come back in the series if it extends. Do the Clippers give them that opportunity for Paul George to come back in the series? Possibility.
If you're going to have Kawhi Leonard available, I think so. If you're going to have Kawhi, and I don't mean like Kawhi and he's kind of gimpy, but a Kawhi that's ready to go, maybe not play 40 minutes, but give you 30, 35 minutes. If Norman Powell, like I said, if what game 2 showed us, if he's on track now to be the Norman Powell we've known him to be, that's big for the Clippers. Russell Westbrook has played well. I expect that to continue. That would balance things out, because what's happened is the Suns have always had throughout this series 3 or 4 guys in double digits, and at least in their starting lineup. In the Clippers case, they've had 2 or 3 guys in the starting lineup and maybe 2 or 3 guys from the bench. They need more firepower in that starting lineup, because really neither team has been able to lock each other down. This has been more of a track meet, and if it's going to be a track meet, a back and forth thing about scoring and shot making, that's going to favor Phoenix automatically because of Durant, because of Booker, because of what Chris Paul can do in the mid-range. And right now, Torrey Craig right now is one of the best three-point shooters in all the NBA.
Yep. He's all world at this point. Yep. He's all world at this point.
He really is. Like, I don't know what his contract is, but the boy's made himself some money.
Got you. So you going Clippers, right?
If they've got Kawhi, I'm going Clippers. Okay. If they're going to be shorthanded again, I think the Suns take a commanding lead.
Okay, so it depends on if they have Kawhi does plays. Okay. So So Kawhi Leonard, if Kawhi Leonard plays, then you got
I'm going Clippers.
Okay, got you. All right, so Milwaukee goes into Miami. We don't know the status on Giannis yet. We don't know if he's playing. But Milwaukee do got they're not even giving Miami a chance at home. They got Miami 27% probability. They got Milwaukee 72.9 probability. Milwaukee's not even giving. Giannis is doubtful. But will the series, who will go up in the series? The series is tied 1-1. Who you got in game 3 in Miami?
Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. I would say this, knowing the Heat, just knowing that culture of that team, the fact that they got blown out, even the final score doesn't dictate just how big a blowout it was. I think Miami comes out and try to return the favor. Whether Giannis plays or not, I'm actually going to go with Miami.
Okay, I like it. You just know them out. You just know them like a book, man. They come out ready, man. They know how them one of the few teams that know how to respond after an ass kicking, like how they got kicked around in that game. So, and we got the main event of the evening and the main event of the night. We got the Memphis Grizzlies going up against the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, we don't know if Ja Morant is playing. He set out game 2. And there was no problem for the Memphis Grizzlies when he sat out game 2. But other than that, we don't know if he's playing. The Lakers, they're at home. That crowd is going to be good. We already know how good that crowd is going to be. And we already know how big of a game this will be. So, Mo, who are you gambling on? Who are you gambling on in this game?
This is a tough one. You got to support your home team. So what I want to happen is I want the Lakers to win and take control of the series. That's what I want. Yep. And whether Ja plays or not, they should still win, because my guess is if he plays, he's probably going to be in a minutes restriction, right? So if he starts, what are you getting, 24, 25 minutes, or it comes off the bench and gives you that much, the Lakers are at home. You wanted to steal away home court. You did do that. Now, you should have won game 2, but that's in the books. I think the Lakers have to win tonight, like have to. So I'm going to go with the Lakers. If they let the Grizzlies shorthanded go up 2-1, man, come on. Let me say this. I don't know if you can appreciate this, Coach. So you've probably heard this 1,000 times. I know I've heard it 5,000 times that LeBron James is the most scrutinized athlete, at least basketball player of all time. He is, and he's coming up in the social media era, so that's a big part of it. But a lot of the reason why he's scrutinized, though, is him. It's him. It's of his own doing. It's of his own doing. When you start making claims, I'm the greatest, or when you say stuff like playoff mode activated, then you don't make the playoffs. I mean, it's him. It's him.
Yep.
There's no reason. If the Lakers, I could be wrong, but the Lakers, maybe the Suns, other than the Suns, the Lakers and the Suns are probably the only 2 teams in the West that both have 2 top 10 players, right?
Yep.
You got 2 top 10 players. You can give me all the other excuses, but you got 2 top 10 players, and you've got a credible bench around you. Even if they're struggling, if you got 2 top 10 players and the other team is minus their guy who's probably a top 10 player, there's no excuse at all. If you're that guy, you put this in the books. You take control of this series if you're that guy. At some point, I'm a Lakers fan, but it's annoying having that cat on the franchise.
Yeah, it is. Hey, see, you were like you love the Lakers, but at the same time, you kind of remind me. I think Jonathan is just a little go. He take it beyond. Jonathan gonna take it beyond further. Jonathan gonna take it beyond further with the Lakers. But again,
he's a great player. He's not here to deny how great he is. But let me be honest. I never wanted him in the purple and gold. I never wanted him. I'll say this to Genie's credit, because it's all about championships. To his credit, you can say what you want about the LeBron James era during his time with the Lakers. He did get him 1 championship, and you know how hard it is to get a championship. So I actually think the LeBron James era with the Lakers has been successful. Maybe not as successful as he wanted it to be, but if you win a title, that you're successful. But I just wish he would go somewhere else. I just wish he would go
I
away.
feel you on that point. I feel you on that point, boy. You lucky Freddie ain't heard that point right there. Freddie go crazy on that buzz.
Hey, we're all Laker fans, but I think
Yeah.
Laker fans are kind of split up because
Yep.
I'm a Laker fan, so I ride or die for the Lakers no matter who gets traded or who gets moved. Even if I don't agree with the moves, I'm a Laker fan. I think there's another section of Laker fans that are Kobe fans, and they're more Kobe fans than they were Laker fans, right? They're more ride for him than they do for the franchise. And then you get those guys that they get excited with every big name that joins the franchise, and then they want to ride with them, and they love LeBron. I respect LeBron. Like I said, nobody's gonna make me not accept the fact and acknowledge he's one of the 2 or 3 greatest players to ever play. And what he's doing at this age, at this year in his career, has never been done before, might not ever be done again. I'll give him credit for all those things, and I still didn't want him in the purple and gold.
Oh my goodness gracious, man. Freddie, we need a panel of the Lakers. We need a Lakers panel, Freddie.
Yeah, we can have one. I mean, I'm just saying. You can throw it around. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
My goodness,
I might be in the minority, but that's just me. That's just
me. Hey, Jonathan, Jonathan the same way about it. He probably even take it a little more further though. He take it a little more probably further than what you would take. So we got the Sundays games. We're gonna have a big game 3. We're gonna have a big game 3 coming up. So depending on who's up 2-1, Sunday it starts at 12 o'clock. The Cleveland Cavaliers, New York Knicks, game number 4. Who you got, Mo?
I'm gonna go with the Cavaliers. Look, I don't know how it's gonna pan out, but I think in the end, after game 4, one way or other, I think that series is gonna be 2-2 going back to Cleveland.
Gotcha. Now, this game, big game, the Kings are up 2-1. The winner of this game, you feel like they take control of the series. They got some momentum in the series. So, will that be the Kings or will that be the Golden State Warriors?
I'm going to go with the defending champions.
Okay.
But I do expect the Kings, those shots that were missed, I don't think they're going to miss that many in game 4. I expect you get the best version of De'Aaron Fox. If you're a Warriors fan, what you should worry about is if you get the best version of Malik Monk. I think the Warriors win, but I think it might be the very best game of the series because I think it's going to be a back and forth tight basketball game.
Got you up on that one. So this game right here. So we assuming that Boston's gonna beat up on Atlanta. So at 6 o'clock on Sunday, will Boston end the series in Atlanta? Will the series be over by that time?
Yeah, they're going to help Trae Young and company get ready for Cancun, relax, go on vacation, spend time with their families. They're doing them a solid, so they're getting them that extra rest they need. Quinn Snyder can get an early start on getting ready for the draft and all that. So they're going to help. They're actually helping Atlanta out.
Oh my goodness! So you're assuming again that it's another game, the last game of the night, last game of the Sunday. So you did pick Denver to win game 3. So I'm gonna go by your logic on that one. Will the series be over with Sunday in game 4? Will the series be done?
Yeah. I think the series will be done. It's going to give the Timberwolves management and front office time for a lot of reflection. Somebody's getting fired. Yeah. I don't know who put together that Gobert trade, but whoever it is, they should be fired like that day, right after they lose, fired.
Mm-hmm. They should be fired on the court.
Right. They should tell him like, you don't need to come back in the locker room. You're good. You're good
already. You should be fired. You should be fired on the court.
You made that trade. You're actually more of a Utah Jazz guy than you are a Timberwolves guy. That's how bad a trade that was.
Yep, you should be fired on the court after that one. No disrespect, but hey, you should be fired on the court. Just like Lovie Smith was fired on the football field, Steven Silas was fired on the court. Yeah, you make crazy situation, you should not allowed to be in the locker room. Or if you're on the road, you should not be allowed to get on the team's plane. You should find your way back.
Fact.
So other than that, another great morning show, man. Another great morning show. Got some NBA playoffs going on all weekend long. So I will be doing the nightcap game, which is Minnesota versus the Denver Nuggets. My boy Dez may be up with me, but other than
I'll see you in
that,
the chat, Coach.
I appreciate you, Mo.
I'll be there.
You always die, man. You always die. I appreciate you for that, man. So, Mo, tell the people they can follow you at.
You'll see me at Sports Empire Network. I finally got an episode of my podcast, NBA Cypher, downloaded. For some reason, they kept giving me that file corrupted thing. So, but we finally got that fixed, and the episode's out right now. So, other than that, you'll see me back here on Monday for Sports Empire Network, Coffee and Sports in the Morning with you guys.
Yes, sir. Y'all can find me everywhere. And y'all are definitely going to see me tonight doing Minnesota. And I will be doing Minnesota and Denver tonight. So thank you guys, man. Morning show, guys. As your host, Coach Dante, my co-host, Mo Better. And we definitely will see you guys later tonight, man.
Have a good one.
The rest of your morning.
Peace.